Hey guys, what's going on? This is Greg. Aaron's not here today, so I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties getting started, but it looks like that we are on right now. If somebody's out there, give us a shout. Let us know that everything's working. It didn't matter how much I prepared to get going, it still did not work correctly on the first time. Such is life, but let's move on. First of all, happy Tuesday. It is beautiful outside. It's spring is in the air. We get fired up the grill this weekend. We got the fire pit out. Aaron came over. A couple other friends came over. And I want to say a special thank you to everybody watching this who reached out to me Saturday night after the painful Auburn loss. Refs are human, and that is sport. So it was a great game. Great having everybody over to watch the game. And again, thank you for everybody who reached out and said their condolences or make sure I was okay. But it is a great week too, because it now starts the Masters golf tournament, and nothing says spring has started like the Masters golf tournament. So I'm pretty pumped about that. But welcome to season 2, episode 9. Season 2, episode 9 of the live show, Real Talk Real Estate with Aaron Advantage. The boss is gone today, so it's just me. So we're going to cover some things. First of all, I want to say a huge shout out to my team. This is Jen, this is Liz, this is Aaron, and of course myself. We had written offers last month for $2.3 million, and we could not have done it without our great referrals and our great clients. So thank you guys so very much. Also, an accolade for statewide. We were 16th in the state of Indiana for listings taken in February. As you can tell behind me here too on our big whiteboard, which is new to Aaron's office, we've got a pretty remarkable March and April coming up as well. We've got 3 current listings in our inventory, but by week's end next week we should have 3 more. And obviously take a look at the blue. This is everything that is currently pending in our sales. So if you need our help, give us a shout, okay? But let's go on. We're talking about fencing today. So here's my problem. I need a fence. My neighbors to the left of me, they have a 6-foot vinyl fence, privacy fence. And my neighbors to, we'll call it the right, it's kind of like right center, they have a 6-foot wood cedar privacy fence. It only runs about 12 foot on my property line, so it gives me about 70 to 80 feet of just open space. So I've been thinking about this for way too long. Every time I go out to grill or just set out and enjoy life, I always end up thinking about this fence. Nothing's going to look right. I mean, I've contemplated all the options: the wood fence, the vinyl fence, the wrought iron, but who wants to spend that kind of money? Chain link, come on now, and a composite fence. But I just don't think anything's going to look quite right with that vinyl fence to my left and the cedar fence to my right. So I even started playing around with some styles, like, well, what if we tried to match a privacy fence? What if we did a picket all the way around? I mean, isn't that the American dream, the white picket fence? Maybe some lattice. And there's just so many other styles. You get squared, dog-eared, scalloped edge. Do I do a color to complement one? Do I do a stain to complement the other? And it just got overwhelming. So no matter what style I looked at, it was just not going to look right with either of the neighbors. Plus, it's going to cost me a lot more money and a lot of extra time I really wasn't wanting to put into a fence. Getting an auger out there would tear up the yard. Then I would have to do it all by hand. But if you know Newburgh soil, you know it's half clay. So it wasn't going to be a fence. So I started thinking about and talking to my neighbor, the one with the white vinyl fence. Why not a natural fence? I think that's a fencing option that we all overlook. And I'm going to bring you some options today about some natural fencing. Now, before I begin, I need to give a shout out to my neighbor. His name is Tony Oxley, and he's the lead horticulturist out of Victoria National Golf Course. So he's got some clout and some good ideas and helped me put things in perspective. But I found this great article today. It has 11 different options, but I'm just going to give you some that might be practical for our area. First of all, you need to decide, do you want to go with a flowering, or you want to go with an evergreen, or you want to go with a type of a bush? If you want to go with flowering, there's 2 that I would suggest: a lilac or forsythia. And who doesn't love a good flowering lilac? But here's the problem: they grow so fast, so you got to be ready. Oh, I got a heart for the lilac there. They grow so fast that you got to be able to ready to prune. And my other problem is I don't want anything that's going to encroach on my neighbor's yard. I want to keep it on my privacy line, so I'm really not looking for anything that's going to be branching. However, I'd love to have some lilacs or forsythias. I just don't think with the encroachment possibility that I wanted to go that route. That brings me to a couple another option, which is your bush type plants. There's a boxwood plant, and there's 70 different species of boxwood plants. If you're not very familiar with boxwood plants, they're evergreen, and they can be shaped and molded into different designs and whatnot. Most in our area keep it box, but if you go down to Disney, you get to see some wonderful characters, and we were able to see some of those boxwood plants down in Disney that were, pruned to look like Mickey, Minnie, Donald, or whomever. They tend to grow about waist high, so they're not terribly high, but they can be manipulated to grow higher. They grow slowly, however, for me, which is a good thing, they're extremely hardy. So I really wasn't going to go that route because I want something a little bit higher that's going to give me some privacy and keep my dog off of the yard. So I researched another one, and I love the burning bush. Everybody loves the burning bush, especially when it's around the fall, when it turns that really neat red color. It boxes off kind of like the box, and they grow really super big. They can grow up to 24 feet. I didn't know that if you don't prune it correctly. So 24 feet, that's a little bit taller than what I wanted to take care of. And I'm looking for something low maintenance. I'm a jeans and polo type of guy, and I really don't want to spend my weekends pruning a flowery bush to make sure that it doesn't encroach on my neighbor's yard, it doesn't grow too big. So I went ahead and crossed the burning bush off my list. However, it does attract birds, and I do like birds. Beautiful sounds. Anyway, I digress. Then I started looking at another option that's not terribly familiar to me, but I was like, I'll give it a whirl. The dwarf willow tree. Apparently, there's like 400 species of dwarf willow trees, and I am not a dwarf willow tree expert at all. However, you need to give them some fencing to help manipulate their growth. Again, a little bit more work than I wanted to do. It tolerates the moist soil and the winter weather in our area, but it's not too drought friendly, and I'm looking at late July, August, and I need something that's going to be drought friendly. The next thing that I looked at, this is where I'm starting to get into the evergreens. I think the evergreen is kind of where I want to go. Evergreens, especially the jumping juniper and the privet, are the most commonly used natural fencing, especially in our area. They're dense, they're flexible, they're easily trimmed. Very hardy, even for the most brown thumb. And that's a good thing, too, because at our house, we do not do well with plants. If it makes it a month, we're good, but we don't do well with plants. So we need something that's very hardy, very applicable, and works well with our brown thumbs. The problem with some of our evergreen trees, though, they can vary in size, so you really need to do your research. Do you want it to be more of a shrub? Because some of your evergreens can grow up to be about 40 feet tall, which is awesome in Christmas, because I'm always looking for an excuse to decorate another tree outside. But that's something to take a look at to determine the size that you're after, okay? So if you really want to keep your neighbors off of your lawn, or keep your kids trapped into your lawn, why not go with a row of cactus? I tell you what, if they fall in that cactus one time, they're not gonna do it again. True story. When I was a kid, I dumped my little play tractor over in a cactus bed, and well, my back was very porcupine-ish, and my parents had to wait till I fell asleep before they pulled out all the little needles on my back. That's a true story. I still remember this day exactly where that was at. Anyway, I digress. Classic Greg. I digress just a little bit. So here's what we've chosen to do. Again, with the help of Tony Oxley, our neighbor, great guy, head horticulturist at Victoria National, we have decided that we are going to go with the Tuja Green Giant Arborvitae. So basically, that is an option of evergreen that doesn't get any taller than 6 or 7 feet. And it has a trunk base of wideness about 3 to 4 feet. So we can space those out and still have some privacy, and they can still grow and create a nice natural fence for us. They are easy to care for. That's a plus for the brown thumb. and they are drought tolerant, and of course they are winter strong for all of our crazy seasons here. So again, I'm not an expert on fencing, natural fencing. However, it was something I was looking at this week, and I thought, hey, maybe this is some good information for our viewers. So, of course, if you want more information, or if you want to get in touch with my neighbor, Tony Oxley, he's a great guy. I'm sure he'd help talk you through some of your natural fencing ideas. But again, as always, we want to thank our clients and our referrals. $2.3 million in February. Thank you guys so very much. Again, this is episode 2. Season 2, episode 9. We're looking forward to many more this spring and this summer. If there's anything we can do for you, if you know somebody who's ready to make a move, give us a call. Greg Keith, 812-454-8103. Thanks, guys.